If you want to start your own private healthcare practice, and ideally you'd like to be 100% out-of-network cash-based, but you're afraid that you won't be able to start from scratch and get things going quickly enough. So you're thinking, I'll just start by being insurance-based and taking insurance contracts, and then I'll drop them once I get the ball rolling. Please don't click away, because if that's you, this could be one of the most important videos you ever watch. Hi, my name is Jarod Carter and welcome to this episode. I'm a physical therapist, a successful cash-based practice owner since 2010, and the creator of the Private Pay Profit Formula. I help my colleagues just like you to create your own concierge, out-of-network, or cash-based practice so you can end reliance on greedy insurance companies, provide a level of care you are ultimately proud of, and reclaim control of your profits and your future. So if this is the first video you've seen or you haven't done so before, please consider subscribing to this channel because I put out free trainings like this all the time, and they always have a free resource associated with them designed to help you get results faster. And the free resource in this episode is designed exactly for that person who's afraid they won't be able to find enough cash pay patients for their new practice in order to start out cash pay from the start. And that resource is called the 22 Best Sources of Cash Pay Patients. You can go to drjarodcarter.com/episode 47. Scroll down and download it right now. Okay, let's dig in. I want you to imagine that scenario that I just described, and that might be a scenario you're envisioning for your future cash practice. Man, I'd love to just be cash pay, but where am I going to find enough patients to say yes in my area, in my niche, whatever the case may be? Maybe I'll just go the slightly easier route to get the ball rolling. I'll fill up my schedule, maybe bring on a few other providers, and then once we're going strong, we'll make that transition having a good revenue stream and a good stream of patients, right? It sounds logical on the front end, but here's the thing. I have helped hundreds of practice owners, well, probably over 1,000 practice owners to start a cash-based practice from scratch, like just starting out cash pay all the way through. And then I've helped dozens and dozens, probably over 100, of established insurance-based practices to transition out of network. And I can tell you from all of those experiences that there's a huge difference between the two. They're very, very different types of practices. Your referral sources are different. Your marketing approaches are different. Your staff can be very different in their mindset and the things they have to do and say. There are so many differences that here's what happens is that if you already have a steady stream of insurance-based patients coming predominantly from other professional referral sources, often physician referral sources who expect you to take the insurance of the referrals that they're sending your way. And those people that have come in and they're happy and they're doing online reviews, they're talking about you taking their insurance, they're sending their word of mouth referrals or expecting you to take their insurance. Your staff is seasoned and trained to say, yes, we accept Blue Cross Blue Shield. Let me just get your information and we'll get you scheduled. Like, there are so many things to change at that point when you start to drop insurance contracts that it is a much heavier lift than just starting cash pay from the start, as scary as that may be. So if you think about it, it's kind of like that analogy of like the trying to turn an oil tanker rather than a speedboat. And yes, it can be really scary to start off in a speedboat and it's all squirrely on you and you're not sure, if you're going to make it to that destination. But I'm telling you, it is so much easier if you have the right guidance on how to market, how to get the leads flowing in, and then how to, whether it's you or your staff or both, how to talk to those leads in a way that gets them to say yes to your cash-based services, even if they have great insurance. And this is the stuff that most of my videos are about, most of my courses and trainings are about, is lead generation and then sales, right? And then keeping them on schedule until they are 100% better or long-term members of your practice. So it is totally possible. We have proven it 1,000 times over in all geographies and all fields of healthcare. And so try to know and kind of quelch that fear enough to say, look, there are laid out proven steps on how to make this happen, whether it's from me or the other, well-established cash-based practice coaches out there. The information is there and you can use it. You don't need to create an oil tanker that's based on a foundation of referral sources and patient caseload that expect you to take insurance. Because when you start to make those changes, not only is it often difficult to get your staff to make the changes with you, and you often have to let go of staff, but those referral sources are typically going to dry up and you have to replace them with all the different things that you would have done if you were a cash practice from the start. So it's like a lot of this hard work that you did to start an insurance-based practice, you have to undo in some ways or replace with stuff that you would do from the very beginning if you were cash pay from the start. So keep that in mind as well. And I do want to speak to those who already have a private practice that's predominantly insurance-based and you want to make the transition out of network. I don't want you to hear what I just said and feel discouraged about the heavy lift in front of you. It is a heavy lift, but just like starting cash pay from the start, there are proven steps on how you can do it and how you can transition and drop low-paying contracts with low risk. In fact, I would point you to an interview I just did recently at the time of this recording with Lily Boich, who is a private PT practice owner, fully insurance-based a few years ago. We transitioned her out of network. She'll be fully out of network in a few months, just waiting on that time frame of when the contract allows it. But she's actually grown. She retained patients, grew her patient numbers, and now is on track to have her first 7-figure year as a predominantly cash-based practice in just a few years. So it can be done. We've done it dozens of times. There are ways to do it with really low risk, and knowing what likely is to retain in terms of referral sources and patients, what's not going to work to do that, what you can expect in terms of attrition, right, of those patients and of those referral sources, and more importantly, how you can preemptively replace those losses so that when you go through the process, you have a result like Lily, which is you actually can grow. You wouldn't even think that, right? But you can actually grow not just your revenues, but obviously your profits and your patient numbers while dropping the lowest paying contracts and then getting to, whatever. You don't have to go 100% out of network, right? If you've got payers that are paying you great and you're really happy with the profit per patient, great, keep them. If you don't, so many of them are going in the direction of they used to pay well enough, but now they're just not. And in some cases, I'm actually losing money for every patient I see with that insurance. And that is just a mathematical no-brainer that you got to get rid of that, even with the fear of losing referral sources. But again, there are ways to replace them ahead of time to reduce your risk and minimize your risk as you go through this process. So whether you're starting out cash pay from the start or you're insurance based and you want to transition out of network or mostly out of network, there are step-by-step ways to do that. You can go to drjarodcarter.com/freedom. That is my flagship course that walks you through. That's the path for both of those approaches of cash pay from the start and transitioning. It's all included in there. Everything you need to do, all the resources done for you, marketing materials, everything is in there. So check that out. And if you're watching this and you want to make sure to get those 22 best sources of cash pay patients, go to drjarodcarter.com/episode 47, and I will see you in the next episode.